All right, welcome to task number 2. What we want to do is take you through the process of setting up what we call routines, and we're going to do a couple different ways, a manual process and then also an automated process. We want to make sure that you know how to do it. To get into SAM, making sure that you log in, just go to sam.workflowsecrets.info, put in your login information, and it will bring you into your dashboard. On the left-hand side, we have an area here called routines. Now, routines is what we call our workflows, our automations, our processes that people normally do and set up for helping you through the things that you do in your business. Now, whenever you first come in, routines are blank. You've got a blank slate here, and certainly something that we will be filling up along the process. Don't worry about what you don't have there right now. It's more important that we build the system based off of your particular needs. Now, to do this, what we want to do whenever we're in the routines area, up here in the upper right corner, there is a new routines button. We're going to click on that, and from that, it will bring up the option to create a new routine. There's two options. One is a blank routine, which is actually what we're going to do. The other one is a reminder routine. The reminder routine just automatically creates one activity as kind of a reminder activity. We'll show that in a bit, but for right now, we're just going to go into blank routine. Click on that, and it brings you into this blank routine area. And what we want to do is we're going to create, just so that we kind of see the process, we're going to create a new lead welcome routine. So we're going to say new lead welcome. Actually, I'm going to take off the quotes on there. I was just copying them from the screen. And routines can be put into 4 different places. Your contacts, we have a section for the properties, there's also listings, and there's transactions. So whenever you're creating a routine, it needs to be in one of these 4 sections, okay? In this case, because it is a new lead, we're talking about people, we're talking about contacts, so we're going to leave it at contacts, but you can select from one of the options in the drop-down. The next thing that we do is we identify what field in the database will actually be the trigger for the routine. All of our triggers are based off of a date field. We've got lots of different date fields for lots of different things, even dates of when certain fields change. So if the category field changes or if the status field changes, there is a status field change date, and you can certainly pick that. In this case, whenever a new lead comes in, we put in a new lead, we can have it automatically fill in the date for new lead. So I'm going to scroll down. You see lots of fields in here, all the way from A to Z. But we do have one here called new lead date. And I'm going to choose that as the field for doing what we're going to do. Now, in this new lead routine, we're going to create some activities, some things that we want to do. And in this case, I'm just going to do probably one activity. You can click on the little plus here to add a new routine activity. Whenever this date gets filled out, you can do a series of things, a series of processes. I'm going to click on the plus, and it comes up and asks me for what is the details of this activity that we're going to create. Now, this is just the pattern. It's the layout, the setup part of how do we calculate an activity in the system. In this case, I'm going to set it up as 0 days after the important date, whatever it is. In this case, it's going to say new lead date. There are 3 options here, one of which is start date. So whenever this routine starts, the date that this routine starts, which may be different than the new lead date or whatever date is there, it could be the current date in this case. You could use that if it's something that you want to start based off of when this starts. The other option is a month-day option, where if you want something to be done on, say, January 3rd of every year, you can certainly do that. Or July 4th of every year, you can pick that. In this case, we're just going to choose the new lead date. And the processing time is the time of day that you want this to happen. Now, for the new lead date, it also has a corresponding time for it. So based off of that, you can say, well, whenever that lead date is, and at whatever that activity time is of that lead date. So there is a time factor in that. However, you can click on that and you can say, well, I want to do it on my daily processing time, which may be 8 o'clock, or maybe I just want to mark it as an all-day activity. If you want, you can create your own time frames. So if you do certain things at 10 o'clock every day, you can set a 10 o'clock time frame, 2 o'clock time frame, or whatever. So you have the ability to customize those however you want. The time frame in this case, you can, or the duration, you can specify how long does this activity need to show. Now, the minimum is 15, and I'm just going to set it as a 15-minute process, but it is something that if it's less than 15, it shows very small in the calendar, and you probably don't want that, so we're going to leave it as it is. So we've got it set for 0 days after the start date, at the activity time, and it's just going to be a 15-minute process, very small process. You can specify what color item that you want. So if there's a certain color that of activity you want that activity to be, you can certainly select it. Maybe I'll select, red or whatever. You pick whatever color you desire. And then you choose the teammate that's going to do this process. Whose calendar is it going to show on? If you've got multiple users in your account and you click on this, it will allow you to see those multiples. In this case, there's no one else in the list, so no one to pick from. At this point, you'll just choose yourself. Now, the beautiful thing about routines is that the activities inside of a routine can have automations, or what we call actions. These actions can do certain things to help speed up the process of what you do every day. And what I'm going to do is click on the add action, the little title here for add action, and it's going to come up with the add action process for us to pick from. In this case, we can do a few different things. If we click on the little type here, we can send a message. That'll be either an email or an SMS. We can add a phone call to the call list. We can run a webhook that does some integrations with outside sources. We can update a field so that you can make sure that certain fields have certain values in them in the event something changes during your routine process. Maybe the status gets changed from active to pending, whatever. You can certainly set those different field values up. If you have Slack installed, and we don't have it currently installed, that would be a choice. It's currently grayed out. You can send notifications. There's a system notification where you can send notifications to yourself or to other users. Or you can stop a routine. So if one routine starts and you want to stop other routines, you can choose stop routines. In this case, we're just going to send a message. And inside that message, we want to choose some sort of template. Now, if you've got templates in there, you can click on select a template and it would bring up the list of templates. There's no templates in here, so you can click on the little plus up here at the top and it will take you into our template editor. In this case, we're wanting to do an email message to our lead. These are our AI shimmer options. Whenever you click on the shimmers, it will display the option for a message objective. What is the objective of this particular message? And whenever you click in here, you can use the little microphone and just speak out the objective if you want, or you can type it in. In my case, I'm just going to paste in what we've got, and I'm going to take off these quotes, not that it really matters. You paste in what you want, welcome a new lead, and ask to chat. That's all this particular one is. And then I'm going to click on submit. It then uses AI to build out that quick template. Now, we don't have anything defined or designed inside of this yet, so the template is going to be extremely basic. And what you can do is kind of look at it. Maybe you want to make some changes to it. Say dear mailing name, the person's name. We're thrilled to welcome you to our community as we embark on this new journey with us. We'd love to get to know you better and discuss how we can support you. Would you be available for a quick chat this week? Please let us know your preferred time and we'll do our best to accommodate. Looking forward to connecting. Best regards, and then your signature. Now, the signatures can be set up in the little signature area right here. Otherwise, you can just wipe that out and you can put in your own signature however you want. And now we have our message. If you've got a message that could be used also as an SMS, like we said, the system can automatically send SMS if they prefer SMS. The message itself has an email component. It also has an SMS message component. If we click on this, it will come up and say, hey, do you want to use the message from the other one, the context of that message, to generate the SMS message? If I answer yes, it takes that and it builds out a new piece that is more geared towards an SMS. It's designed for 160 characters versus a big email message. Makes them look different, but it's got a different medium, a different purpose for it. Once you've got them set up, you're really good to go, and you can just click on save. Once you've got your template created, it'll be listed in the select a template area here. We can select it, and now in our section here, we now have the template selected, and you're good to go. Right here is a selection on how do I want to send this message type. If I choose preferred email, that means I would typically send it out as email, but if they prefer something different, let it go out as preferred first. You can choose preferred SMS if it's an SMS message typically, but if they prefer it as email, they don't get SMSs, then it will convert it before it sends it to be an email. You can just say, hey, always send it as an email or always send it as an SMS. You can certainly do that. Once you've done that, you can also identify who's the recipient of this. For this particular one, it's going to be whoever the routine is being started on, so it's the routine contact. If you want it to go out automatically, whenever that lead comes in, the email gets applied to the calendar, and you want it to send automatically, you can check this little automatic option here, and it will send that automatically for you. I'm going to not do that this time, simply to show you what it looks like once it's in your outbox. We'll click on save. So yeah, we do need a title for this particular activity. In this case, we want to identify it as, let's make it as introduction email, and we're going to click on save. So now in this one routine, we've got one activity. You could go through and you can create as many of those as you want through the process. You can create them one by one like that very easily and set it up specifically how you want your routines to work. Now, that is probably the hardest way. I took you through it just so that you would understand it, but that's probably the hardest way of creating a routine step by step like that. It gives you complete customizability, but it is also a little bit more of a challenge. What we can do is make it easier. We can really tap in to the power of SAM and use the automations of AI to be able to do this for you automatically. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one more. I'm going to click on new routine. I'm going to click on blank routine again in this case. And in this case, we're going to say the title on this is Sam Built Birthday. Lack of a better name. Again, we're doing this as a contact. And we come over here to the select date type. And in this case, we're going to choose the birth date. Okay. Now, we now know what we're building. It's a birthday message of some sort for the contact, and we're going to do it on that day. We don't necessarily have to use the plus. We can use our AI shimmers. We click on that, and we can identify what's the objective of this particular routine. I can use the microphone to speak it verbally, or I can type it in. We'll just put in happy birthday message. You could put in, a series of build up to birthdays, whatever you want to. You can put in just a few words, and then you can also use the shimmers to be able to enhance it, to make it more robust, to be more confident in what it's going to build. Develop a personal birthday message workflow that includes sending the customized birthday email or SMS to the client. So it goes through that whole process and builds it quite powerful and detailed type objective. You then click on the create button, and then it uses AI to interpret what was just created. And in this case, it goes and it creates a much more robust process. Now, this could be very much a process for, your photography process, your listing processes of some sort, your showings, all these different things. It can create all these activities for you. You choose the ones that you want to include. You can edit any of them that you want to edit and make any kind of changes if you need to. You can delete them if you want. You can even add additional steps if you want. Once you've reviewed each of the items and you are ready to use them, click on the approve and build. It will then start building out that routine, just like you did manually, but it will do it automatically and in the matter of moments in a lot of cases. It took us about 5 minutes to go through the process of just building one, and we can build a multitude of them in that time using the AI automation. Will it be exactly what you want? Maybe not, but it gives you a starting point at which you can go in and then you can augment and change it as necessary. So in this particular case, as soon as the birthday's put in, it's going to schedule the birthday message. It's going to create a personal message as a template. Compile a birthday list. These are some tasks that you can do maybe each month or whatever. Some of these will not be necessary. If there's something you don't like on there, you don't need, you can certainly click the delete button, choose that you want to delete it, and you're good to go. Leave whatever you want. In this case, 1 month before the birthday, it's going to do a personalized message. That seems a little extreme. 1 week before, we're going to email for approvals. And actually, I'm going to delete that. That doesn't make sense. 1 day before, maybe we want some kind of reminder for ourselves to just know that, hey, we've got birthdays we've got to do, schedule some time for doing some phone calls or whatever. You can certainly do that. And then on whatever particular date, and this one here doesn't really make sense as well. I'm going to come in here and edit this one. This, instead of being on the month and day, we're really just going to choose it as the birthday itself. So 0 days after the birthday at the time. In this case, we're just going to say it's at our 8 o'clock. We're just going to send it as a reminder for ourselves. We're going to send a birthday message. And if I come into that action, I can take a look at it. It says, personalized birthday offer and happy birthday. And it goes through and it is giving them an offer for something. You would want to make sure that you put in the correct objective for what you're doing. I was just letting AI go with it. But definitely if you wanted to, give an offer, you can certainly do that. Or if you wanted to just welcome them or thank them or whatever it is in this case, congratulate them on another year around the sun, we can certainly do that. Create the template changes however you want, and then click on save. Once again, you can, if you wanted to, make it automatic. Whenever this activity comes due, it just sends it automatically at 8 o'clock is what we've got set for on that one. And we're going to click on save and save again. The whole point of this is the fact that now we've got a process set up. And while this may be a little extreme for a birthday process, maybe you just want one activity, you certainly have the ability to set up a large number of activities that you do for any particular process. And those processes are what we call routines. You put together a lot of different routines, that's your complete workflow. And that's the workflow secret. You don't have to build the entire workflow process all in one shot. You can build lots of little smaller routines to handle the standard things that you do. Whenever a photography date is assigned, here's the things I do for my photography. If there's a staging date assigned, here's what I do for my staging. An inspection, whatever it is, you can set those up, and it's based off of one key date. You put together all of these key dates, and then you've got a full-blown workflow. Okay, so at this point, we now have our birthday, and we have also our new lead. And maybe you want to set this up as a series of emails, and it might have been better to set up the entire list of activities using it to create a series of emails and SMS messages. So you do what you want as far as the new lead welcome, whatever it is that you want to do as far as sending out content. Now, one thing that you're going to want to do is set these up for automations. In order to do that, you need to go through the process of saying, okay, this new lead welcome, I want it to run automatically. I want to set it active. So we're going to click on active here, and that's critical so that the routines will start automatically. And then I can come to the other one for the birthday. If somebody fills out the birthday field, do I want it to run automatically? Yes, I do. If these are off, if you turn them off, that just simply means you're going to have to run the automation manually, which can be done as well. If you prefer to do it that way, certainly viable. But whenever you set them as automatic, you'll see the little lightning bolt here, a little A for automatic, and it's good to go.